You can't open an email, listen to a podcast, or frankly hear any communication without hearing someone mention AI, chatbots, any of these things. And especially in the world of marketing, there's a lot of discussion around AI and content generation. And that's exactly what I want to talk to you about today, starting with part one of a two-part series. My name's Amanda Rabideau, founder and CEO of Arch Collective, and that's what we're going to cover in today's video. So let's dive in. Content marketing is still a winner in terms of positioning yourself as an expert in your industry or generating leads. Tech startups should be no stranger to the world of artificial intelligence and AI. But is generative AI truly a useful tool when it comes to marketing? The answer, yes, absolutely. AI for marketing isn't new, but it's very quickly evolving. Emails specifically personalized just for you, human-sounding chatbots, brand messaging based on insights from huge data sets. All of this is possible with AI-generated tools. Advanced content generation is yet another step towards more efficient business practices and a more diversified marketing strategy. There's no denying that this year has been a huge year for generative artificial intelligence. Hard work behind the scenes in terms of advancing AI training models, natural language generation, or natural language processing has led to AI-enabled tools that actually produce some reasonable content. Want a little bit of a history lesson? Let's take a look back at AI over the years. In the 1800s, Ada Lovelace, the first computer programmer, speculates that a computer could potentially generate complex music. Cut to at least 100 years later, Alan Turing develops the Turing test, considering the possibility of conversing with a machine indistinguishable from human interaction. A few decades later, in the 1980s, early AI-powered spell checkers for some of the first home computers. In 1984, the first book written by a computer is published. The Policeman's Beard is Half Constructed. Sounds like a bestseller. About a decade later, Deep Blue beats chess champion Garry Kasparov. Bouncing ahead 20 years, in 2018, big data and AI combine to create foundational models for the AI content generators we see today, including GPT-1. Just a year later, OpenAI launches GPT-2, showcasing improvements in text generation. And in 2020, OpenAI launches GPT-3, trained on over 175 billion parameters. In May of 2022, Gato, a neural network that can play games and engage in dialogue, is launched by DeepMind. November of 2022, ChatGPT launches. Cut to January of 2023, ChatGPT sets records by having the fastest growing user base in history for any consumer-facing application. As a result, Microsoft invests billions in OpenAI, the company that created ChatGPT. March of 2023, GPT-4 launches, trained on 100 trillion with a T parameters. A huge leap forward. Skeptics call for a pause on AI development in light of how fast it's advancing. Adobe launches Firefly, an AI-powered image generator marketed at businesses for commercial purposes. June of 2023, major media outlets discuss using AI generative content in journalism. Accenture and Microsoft build collaborative efforts specifically aimed at helping businesses adopt generative AI. That timeline only shows a few of the key points in the whole history of artificial intelligence, but what's clear to take away from it is that we are in a period of hyper growth and advancement when it comes to artificial intelligence. Of course, we're seeing so much interest in what AI potentially can do because of the possibilities of impact on a commercial level. AI-generated blog posts or social media posts or even images would save companies incredible amounts of time and money and resources. But just how well do these AI tools really work? AI-generated images can work well for logos, but when you start to include humans in these images, things may start to look a little bit different. You may pick up on some extra fingers or some really wonky teeth or other things that have aspects of the uncanny valley, something that's almost human, but not quite right. A similar thing occurs with AI-generated text. In fact, I was listening to a podcast just this morning about those students who used AI-generated text when turning in different homework assignments. And the professors that were reading through these kept commenting on the fact that it just didn't sound like them, or a student at this level just wouldn't have that much information or knowledge about that particular topic. So when it comes to AI-generated text, tread lightly. Some things to look out for include odd repetition and certain turns of phrase. These things can mark AI-generated text, AI-generated blogs, or seem a bit off. However, this is harder to identify when it comes to shorter form text. Think Twitter posts or other social posts that are just a few characters long. In fact, the shorter the piece of content is, the harder it is or the trickier it is for AI detectors to identify that it's AI generated versus a human that created it. In fact, businesses can use humans to edit AI generated content to make it just pass through enough so that SEO doesn't pick up on it or other digital tools aren't identifying it or marking it as AI-generated content. When it comes to SEO, that's something I'm going to dive into even more detail about in my next video about AI. Look out for the second part of our series on generative AI. We're going to dive into exactly how modern businesses are utilizing AI to drive business growth and brand exposure. The generative AI market is set to grow by over 35% in the next 5 years. So getting to grips with this technology now will help put you a few steps ahead of your competitor or stay on par with them in case they're doing the same thing you are right now. If your tech startup needs any type of marketing support, book a 15-minute introductory call with Arch Collective. We'd love to learn more about your business, where you are and where you're trying to go, and come up with a plan to help you get there. We'll see you for part 2.